Amazing. 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 Yeah, man. So let me know where you're coming in from in the chat, please. If you wanted to get your people on this call as well, you can do. You can also invite guests to this call as well. Obviously, just let them know that it's a mindset call. All right, let them know. Let them know. Western Superman, man. I see you. Absolutely. Doing some big things. Congratulations to that. Loch Lomond, Plymouth. Hopefully, I said that right. Guernsey. What's up, Trevor? What's up? Hertfordshire, Virgin Islands, Manchester, Hampshire. Love it, love it, love it. Amazing, man, amazing. Yeah, so we'll keep the chat on. Hopefully, we got no imposters on this call. Last week was interesting, right? I'm not even going to mention the D word today. The D word. I'm not going to mention the word that I'm not going to mention it. All right, because last time, as soon as I said that word, something was born. All right, but but yeah, man. Listen, I'm excited. Uh, We do these calls as often as we can. Obviously, it's about mindset. Today's not going to be a long one. I do say that quite often, and sometimes God and the universe just takes over. But I think obviously, well, I know for a fact that mindset's an important subject, man. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. Mindset is what separates people from the people that start the race to the people that finish the race. You know, the people that like get on the roller coaster of success and don't fall off, man. You know, on the what they call the loop de loops, the corkscrews. You know what I mean? If you don't work on your mindset, you'll get your like safety thing. That's like imagine getting on a roller coaster without that. Like really, like I want you to picture the craziest roller coaster you've ever been on. Imagine getting on a roller coaster without that strap and that little seatbelt thing. Even when you're double checking, you're looking at the guy like, you sure this is meant to be like juddering? It's meant to be moving lace, mate. Is this right? That's like not working on your mindset whilst trying to create financial freedom, especially if you're the first person in your family to do that. Drop a yes in the chat if you're the first person in your family that's decided to create financial success. I'm not talking about relationship success, health and fitness. I'm talking about financial success. Okay, money's an interesting subject. It's all tied down to like generational self-belief, self-worth, all that crazy stuff. All right. So obviously I can't give you any ability on this call. I can't teach you on this call, the things that are gonna give you freedom. But what I can do is I can share with you some key insights that I've kind of learned on my journey from my mentors. I've been, by the grace of not just God, not just luck, but like, massive action. People say, "Oh, Jay got lucky, man. Yeah, you're so lucky to meet Bob Proctor." Lucky, it cost me 20 grand. What are you talking about? There's no luck involved there. I had to like remortgage my house, bro. There was zero luck involved there. Like, but, but obviously, I attracted a conversation with his wife whilst I was out there. Maybe I was, I don't know, maybe she liked, that I gave the chef a compliment on how nice the burgers were at the barbecue. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but she came up to me and we had a conversation and she taught me a few things, man. So I'm gonna give you a few little mental shifts that I've had, recently on my journey. And we did an event on Thursday and there was a massive there was like three or four accidents. The devil was at work. Oh my God, I said his name this week. There was a few accidents and obviously like it got in the way of the event a little bit. But you know me, I'm like, interesting. Everything happens for a reason. Rejection is protection. I'm one of those people where like if I get a pop tire, I'm like quite happy about it. It's weird, but I'm like, obviously God's saving me from what was about to happen, down the road. So like I'm grateful that we're still breathing for one. So I am one of those people. I do annoy a lot of people, to be honest. It is annoying, to be delusionally optimistic about life. I get it. It drives my wife up the wall sometimes. I'm literally impossible to argue with. I just don't get into arguments. Yeah, I've got a very sweet. I think because I was gonna take my own life 7 years ago, everything's a bonus. I've got a kind of a bit of a, you know, the glass is actually full. Do you know what I mean? It can't actually be empty, sort of thing. Um, but yeah, so a few things. Obviously, I found this information when I was broke and struggling. Okay, zero confidence. I saw the industry of network marketing and I was struggling. I was thinking, can I do this? I don't really believe in myself. no experience. No one's gonna take me serious. I was the guy at school that, I was the joker. I was the one that got the most pissed in my circle. So to sort of create a story that everyone can talk about next week. I was a wreck, man. I used to, like I say, I actually found a cigarette on the floor after finding personal development and smoked it. I mean, so that's just think about that. I found positive information and then found a fag on the floor and smoked it. You know what I mean? Then picked up, started to started to like smoke weed and stuff after I found Bob Proctor. That you got to be some special human being to get into bad things after finding good information. Do you know what I mean? Like that's so like when people think, can I do it? I'm talking like guys, yeah. I was driving the complete wrong way down the down the motorway like full speed. So for real, man, it's crazy looking back. But it's crazy. What was crazy was I'm always justifying, yeah, it's all right. It's not too bad. It's only one. It's only one. It's only one. It's only one. So you keep saying it's only one like every hour. You keep saying it's only one every day. But yeah, so Linda Proctor, I never forget. So I was struggling in the business, obviously, because of my mindset. And I couldn't get excited about network marketing, man. I don't know what it was. I just could not get excited about getting customers and bringing in people and building. I couldn't get excited about it. And I never forget, I looked over at her and she was, don't now bearing in mind, she was a multi-millionaire. She had no employees. Actually, yes, she did. She had an assistant who was helping her with her money. Imagine that. She had to employ someone to deal with how much money she was making. Um, and that was her only employee, really. And she was living this free life, man. She had so much success. I'm looking at her, and she was really excited about the industry of network marketing, right? This wasn't a trading company. We were selling like green juice. I never forget. I had an epiphany. I was talking to a couple of people yesterday. Some good friends yesterday over dinner, and I was saying this is what a lot of people make the mistake. A lot of people make them, and I was the one making this mistake. That's why I can talk on it. I'm not one over here, bashing people. I'm talking to the old self. I looked at her and I thought, why is she so excited? And then it just hit me. It just hit me in the face, bro. Because I always say bro when I talk to myself, right? I'm like, bro, maybe you're broke because you're not excited about it. Maybe she's a millionaire because she's excited about it. That's gonna it's not like a mind-bending idea, but I decided to be in that moment excited about it. And what I've learned is that successful people, they don't wait for facts. They create them. They don't wait and see if Jifu is the best company in the world. They make the decision that Jifu is the best company in the world and then go and make it the best company in the world. Does that make sense? It's a complete flip-flop mentality. I do understand. But when I was like, "Do you know what? Maybe I need to become mega enthusiastic about what I'm involved in before I even understand why I'm enthusiastic." This comes down to again studying successful people. Like me, if I'm on an airplane and we go through turbulence and the air hostesses they're calm. If they're calm, that puts me in a calm state. Now, if we're going through turbulence and I look at the air hostess and they're panicking, I'm panicking. Does that make sense? So whenever I see something happen in business and I call my mentor, I'm like, bro, like this is happening and what's this? And he's like, it's all right, man. It's all good. It instantly goes, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Makes sense. So you wanna look at the people that are getting the results that you want. I'm not saying it's got to be me. I'm just saying find someone who's getting the results that you want and actually study how they walk, how they talk, how they respond, how they plan their week. How important do they see mindset? How do they show up at every event? Right? How do they treat their mentor? See, a lot of people, what can my mentor do for me? What I've learned about successful people. They're not thinking that. They're thinking, what can they do for their mentor? Makes sense. It's just a different mentality, man. So She's that's the first thing. The second thing is that shit, Jay, I can't change your life. All I can change is your perception. That's all I can change. And when I change your perception will change your life. And that goes on to we was on a call. The directors and above was on a call with Daniel Fire. Daniel Fire, he's earning 500,000 a month right now in GFU. Did you hear what I just said? 500,000 a month in GFU, 500,000. His wife, Stefania Legato, she's earning 3,750,000, so 375,000, sorry, a month. 375,000 a month. So together combined, imagine that husband and wife, 875,000 every 28 days, right? Now that's the thing is right, let me just work that out on a weekly basis because I want to see what the residual Fridays will be. What Happy Wire Day. What's Happy Wire Day like in that household? 2 seconds, guys. 875 da 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 divided by 4. That is so funny. Happy Friday, man. Happy Wire Day. 218,000 in your e-wallet. Okay, so that is that for me. So guys, you know what I do? You know what I do? Whenever those type of people speak, you know what I do? And it's gonna sound mad. Listen. I listen, right? Now, bearing in mind they've got probably 3 decades, well, between them, probably 4 or 5 decades of experience in the industry, at least 20 plus each. So I'm only 7 years in, so I'm still a baby. So if some of you are 7 days in, some of you are 2 months in, some of you are 3 months in, and you're doubting yourself, you're doubting whether it's going to be for you, you're doubting the process, you're thinking it's hard work. Guys, I'm 7 years in, these guys are 20, plus years in. Let's think a little bit here. Have a bit of patience. Understand that it's going to be a process. Okay, 7 years ago, if I dropped a chat into the call into if I dropped a link into the group chat and said, "Hey, listen, I'm doing a mindset call," nobody would be on it. I wouldn't even show up because I didn't want to hear what come out of my mouth. Do you know what I mean? So there's a process to it. Okay. He said on this call, Daniel Fire, he said, if you can get to 10,000 a month, you can get to 100,000 a month. He said anyone that can get to 6 figures can get to 7. He said the reason why people don't go from 6 to 7 is because they don't have the hunger. And he said, in fact, the reason why people don't get to 6 is because they do not have the hunger. Now, when I say 6 figures, I don't just mean 100,000 plus money. I mean 100,000 plus residual income. Residual. Okay, that means no overheads, no employees. You can do what you want, no boss. 6 Saturdays, one Sunday. You can take calls whenever you want to take calls. You've got leaders that are duplicating and fired up in your organization. So your money's increasing even when you are not. It's a different mentality. It's a different way of living. It takes a certain level of self-worth to ever even attract. So in order to go from 0 to 10 and then from 10 to 100 a month, you need to build your hunger. And guys, you know what he said? He said the only way to build hunger, guess what it is? Exposure. Exposure. You want to write that down? The law of exposure. He said some of you are like annoyed that there's people in your organization that aren't as hungry as you. The only reason why they're not as hungry as you is because they haven't had the same exposure as you. He said, you want to teach your people, which is what I'm doing right now. See, I'm saying I'm coachable. He said, what you want to teach your people, Jake, is go and sit in your dream car. Go and look around your dream home often, more often than you've been doing it. Don't think I'm skint. Don't think I don't have the money. Don't think I can't afford that. Think this is building my desire. I need to go and build. It's called dream building. Dream building. When we hit director, me and my wife, we sat down like an emergency, babe. Listen, we need to. I actually put on the to-do list, speak to my wife. Why? because I'm very aware that I can't ride yesterday's wins. I need to, in order for me to keep and multiply, I need to become a better version of me. We need to level up, like fast. We need to set a new goal. We need to get excited about where we're going. Otherwise, because the thing of when you set a goal and reach it, the very first step you need to do is set a new goal immediately. Immediately. Otherwise, you are going backwards. Trust me. Fast as well. So my wife's already going to estate agencies, looking at bigger homes in the local area already. Right. I'm gonna go to view some cars and stuff this week. We always go to nice places anyway. But I advise everyone on the call today to go and do that. You know why you know the only reason why you wouldn't. Number one, your ego's too big. You don't like taking instruction. Number two, and these actually tying together. You like being broke. Does that make sense? Like that's the only two reasons. So if you're in a situation where you're ready for freedom, you're ready for more money, you're ready to attract more, you need to go and put yourself into a bigger and better environment. Hang around people where it actually annoys you that you can't do the things that they do. Like I was sat speaking to Jin, right? And Jin's got a good Friday, man. Every Friday's Good Friday for Jin. Do you know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Okay, he makes like three times the average monthly income for the average person, on a weekly basis, residual income, all right. And he's going to New York and he showed me the watch he's getting. He told me how him and his wife are traveling, and I'm like, oh man, oh wow, yes, you know what I mean? Because like that's just out of my reach a little bit, and that's great. That's great. That's what you want. You want to be around. It's not bragging. If you're like, oh, look at him bragging, you don't understand yet. No, Jin's not the sort of person to brag. It wasn't a bragging situation. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, you want to be around people that are more confident than you, more sharper than you, more switched on than you. They're more focused than you. They're in better shape than you. You want to be around these people, man. I'm telling you right now, you want to be around these people because it's going to piss you off in a good way, in a very, very good way. All right. Now this brings me on to the training balance scale. As everyone, there's actually if you go to the LMG system in the mindset section, I did a quick video. It's half an hour on the four basics of success, and I've talked about it last week. Who'd you listen to? Teachability index, training balance scale, and the process of learning, like the four-step process of learning slash time. Well, I want to talk a little bit about mindset and skill set. The training balance scale, because a lot of people they get this again, they get it switched, they get it sort of mixed up. And there's two sides to success. You've got skill set and mindset. On the skill set side, you've got work, prospecting, promoting, presenting, trading, right? Sniper Pro. That's all the physical, the skill set, social media marketing, recruiting, whatever you do physically is over here. In the gym, it's working out. And then on the mindset, you've got, obviously exposure, like I just said, exposure, dream building, frequency, imagination, emotions, words, words. See, whatever you speak about, you bring about, but you're also giving more energy into, if that makes sense. Like you want to, the conversations in your organization is going to determine whether your organization is growing or whether it's shrinking. So instead of talking about who's leaving your business, who's saying no, talk about who's joining your business, who's saying yes. If you don't have anyone joining your business or anyone saying yes, you say things like, "Hey, listen, I'm super excited about attracting new leaders into my organization, on a frequent basis. I'm gathering more and more interest every single day. I'm meeting more and more like-minded people that are ready to get started in the business." You don't have, I was speaking to someone the other day. He's on the call right now. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was going through some stress. Drop a yes in the chat if You've gone through some stress this week. Just so the person on the line knows that is not alone. Okay. That's called life, man. We're always going to have stress. Some weeks it's higher, some weeks it's lower. There's people that have, I see people on the line that I can actually see names where they've actually lost loved ones. They've gone through breakups. They're overwhelmed with different things happening. And you know what? Like, that is life, man. That is life. Now, this is a bit stoic, like stoicism. And because the thing is, because if you're a woman in business, you do have to actually adapt this. Even if you're a woman in business, you have to be a little bit, we say like compartmentalize. Like, even though you've got things going on, you don't want to necessarily talk about it or feed it, especially to the world. Now, that's why your mentor's there. When you're down, you go up. Okay, when you're down, you don't go down. Why? Because the people that are looking up to you, the people, because when you're in business, guys, you are the business. Imagine over here, you're trying to sell a dream, but you're living a nightmare, or you're at least expressing that your life's a nightmare. What I'm trying to say is you can be going through hell at the exact same time as putting out there that everything's great. You don't want to you don't want to show signs of weakness. Don't listen to what the society are trying to tell you to do. I get the whole mental health day. I get it. Every day is mental health day. Society, they want you to reveal your weaknesses all the time. They want you to reveal how weak you are to the world. That's what they want. That's what they want. Don't buy into it. You become strong by developing yourself, man. You become strong by taking action regardless of the emotion. Man, if I train in the gym just off motivation, I'd be in terrible shape right now. I was talking to the British champion yesterday, and he said that 80%, 90% of the time he has to like psych himself out just to go to the gym. I'll take it easy today. That's his say. I'll take it easy today. And then when he gets there, it's game over because he recognizes the fact that just getting there is half the battle. Same with this business, guys. Let me just talk to one. I'll just talk to one person, man. You know what happens. Who's ever gone to like? I share this example all the time. I can't be bothered to like. If guys, listen, if you just wash up one cup, who's ever washed up one cup, ended up cleaning the entire house? Be honest. Like the entire house, you've gone like, you know what? I've done that. I'm also do this. I'm also do that. I'm also do this. I'm also do that. I'm also do right, guys. I'm saying right now. And that's actually a universal law. It's like do the thing, and you'll get the energy to do the thing. It happens all the time, man. I'll just clean this plate up, and you clean it up, and you're like, my hands are already wet now. Let me just clean, and it's game over, in it. So it's the same when it comes to like this business. It's the same when it comes to going to the gym. It's the same when it comes to everything. It's got nothing to do with your emotions. You have to learn how you think. Because your mindset's going to be your biggest enemy, but it's also going to be your biggest asset if you learn how to use it. If you lose a trade, it's going to be a loss or it's going to be a lesson. Which one you get to choose? Is it a loss or a lesson? A lesson you're grateful for. Everyone's grateful for lessons. We love to learn, don't we? Because we know that the more we learn, the more we earn. But if you genuinely see a loss in a trade as a loss, I promise you, you will be quitting pretty soon. And you'll be going back to your normal job and saying, "Do you know what? Maybe I'm just destined to be average," which you're not, by the way. You're definitely not. Okay, so emotions. When you put yourself in a bigger and better environment, go and sit in the dream car, go and sit in the dream home. It's going to do something to your It's going to make you feel a certain way. We call it dare to dream. You want to put your neck on the line. Talk to your spouse about where you really want to live, the life you really want to give them. Look your children in the face and tell them one day we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I never forget. I went to do the first time I went to Dubai. I was struggling financially. I used my savings to even go there. So my income, my net worth was actually decreasing. And we went to the Atlantis Hotel, and there was families there, all families there. Like the Atlantis Hotel is that big pink one, right? Look, and it's there's all families there just chilling, having food. And I was there, and I never forget. I thought one day we're going to be here, but not here on our last dime. We're going to be here, and we're going to have peace of mind, and I'm going to be able to be present with my children because money's taken care of. Because that's really what we don't want money, guys. We want peace of mind. Money's just, I mean, money's just it's one of the four tires. It's one of the four wheels on your car. Okay, so is it without money, guys? I'm being honest right now. Without money, you cannot be, especially in 2025, you cannot live a genuinely abundant life. You just can't, obviously, right? And I believe also that without your health and fitness, you can't live a genuinely abundant life. I also believe that without a successful, flourishing family relationship scope that you got going on right now, you can't live in a genuinely abundant life. So there's pillars to it: faith, family, fitness, finance. Those are your four pillars: faith, family, fitness, and finance. You need all four, man, and they're just as important. So don't put other things on pedestals and other things aren't. They're all just as important. That's what LMG is all about. It's not about just making money. It's about leading by example, right? It's about being the change that you want to see. Okay, so is everyone clear? There's two sides to success. Work on the physical, but obviously really put a lot of work and time and energy into the frequency, right? Be careful what you're talking about. You cannot find a rock song on an R&B music station. Meaning winners, we have a certain language. If you listen to winners, how they talk, there's certain words that they don't say. Like winners don't say tomorrow, for example. We don't say tomorrow. We say within the next 24 hours. Winners don't say the word try. They don't try things. Winners don't try anything. Makes sense. They do it. Right? There's just certain words, it's the certain words that winners say to frequency. I sent a video yesterday to Elliot Ward, and I sent this video. It's a random guy, this random guy dancing, and the next thing I said was 10,000 hours, and he said, "Bro, I was literally just thinking that as you typed it." I said, "Of course, it's frequency, 10,000 hours, because winners they study other people that master stuff. We love mastery. I don't care if it's snooker. I don't care if it's fishing. I don't care if it's dancing. It doesn't have to be with what we're doing. Winners, we appreciate other winners because we understand how much time and effort it takes to win. Makes sense. Like winners, we don't actually understand like having a holiday, having a break. What's that? A day off. What? And it's okay if you're not there yet mentally. What I'm saying is get around winners and eventually you'll pick it up, you'll catch it, you'll be like, oh shit, like no, what no, because and the probably why you give yourself a couple of days off is because you haven't gone and sat in that Rolls Royce. Maybe you're giving yourself a day off because you haven't gone and you haven't imagined giving your favorite charity a £10,000 check. I don't know. You haven't imagined, calling up your mom and saying, "Hey, listen, mom, check your bank account," and you've just dumped a big wad of money in there just because it's your mom. Maybe you haven't imagined that yet. See, I go there mentally because I like to I'm a bit of a sicker. That keeps me fired up. Keeps me fired up. I don't get you don't want to get complacent. Like for the people that work with me personally, I'm like today, let's go right now, let's go right now. What why do you want to wait? Why do you want to wait for freedom? If I knew how good freedom felt when I didn't have it, I would have probably done it 10 times faster. That's why I try and transmit it into you guys. It's actually why I show like me going to the beach at 10 a.m. every day. Some of you think, oh, Jake's doing that to bring in new prospects. I'm actually not. I'm doing it to actually piss off the people in my organization that aren't free yet. That's actually why I do it. Hey man, don't you want this? It's called the law of exposure. Yeah, I would rather you take imperfect action today than perfect action tomorrow. Oh, well, I don't feel ready. No, you're not ready for success yet. That's what you're not ready for. No, I'm ready for success. I'm just not ready to show the plan. No, it doesn't work like that. You're not ready for success. If you're not like, be honest, who here has been prolonging and procrastinating on doing more content on social media? More lives, more content. Who's been prolonging it? You see what I'm saying? Stop it. Get it done today. Just press the live button, man. Who cares? Let me tell you who cares. Nobody. Okay. Nobody. Nobody cares, man. Just get rocking and rolling. All right, copy successful people. Before you do anything, take a look around at the leaders within the organization and see if they do that. Right, November 1st. Think about the importance of November 1st for 1 second. I've just told you that the key to staying hungry is exposure. November 1st is that's basically we probably should have called the event exposure because that's really what it is. You're being exposed to bigger and better. You're being exposed to what's taking place, your future. So the most important thing that everyone can do is get their ticket for November get their ticket for November 1. I need to learn how to speak. I never know what to say self-effectively, but I want to sell. That's great. Okay. What you want to do, who's that? What's her name? Chris. What you want to do is you want to observe your mentor doing that. So whoever you're working with, you need to go and spend some time with them, buy them food. So call your mentor, call your golden above leader and say, listen, can I come and get you some food and spend some time with you, please? You tell me when I can do that. That'll be great. Especially if you're in the UK. Like guys, my first mentor was in the States. It's just a Zoom call only. Some of you, there's some people on the line that I literally live within like a half an hour drive, and I ain't saw you in a few weeks. It blows my mind. Probably not. Probably not for the streaming. All right, so get your ticket. Copy successful people, guys. It's super simple. Okay, so that's the call. Like I said, 35 minutes, real quick. Going forward, plan your week. Planning to expose yourself more. Set a goal. Speak to your mentor. Speak to your mentor every single day, and let's get rocking and rolling, man. But I can take a couple of questions. If you got questions, let me know. Maybe drop an I in the chat if you got a question. I can take some questions. Yes, Leo, you can unmute.
Yes, great call. Appreciate that. Quick question. In the beginning, you said I was looking at Linda Proctor, and
Yeah,
she was like just jacked up about network marketing,
yeah.
really excited. That's great. All right, so you've made a decision to, obviously be excited. And then the next thing you're saying is you have to be like a bit more nonchalant and like control your emotions and manage your emotions. So can you explain a bit more about that balance between being really excited and then because I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news, but you most likely hear no, especially in the beginning, more than you're gonna hear yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I need to manage my emotions, but I need to stay excited, but also I need to mentally prepare that most likely I'm gonna suck in the beginning. Like, what was your what was your experience? And maybe you can say something to the new people and
Yeah, so
us.
remember the biggest thing about me is common sense is something I take I'm quite proud of myself for having common sense. So whenever a broke person says no, or someone who's not living, making a six-figure income in their sleep tells me no, I'm literally, I really don't listen to what they say. If that makes sense, I don't let them control my emotions because I'm over here being fired up because I'm excited about what this six-figure, seven-figure earner sees versus what this person who's struggling financially and in a lot of areas of their life they see. So there's that, but also enthusiasm is different to excitement. So you can be like, you can be enthusiastic. I'm not necessarily. I wouldn't say I'm excited. I am excited. I mean, guys, I am fired up, like to the point where I have to really control myself, and that's what I'm saying, Leo. You have to control yourself. Do you know what I mean? I am so fired up, but yeah. So how the difference is, bro. You have to understand that I don't let other. There's only a few people really that I allow to impact Jake Parton's emotions. That is my wife and my mentor. Does that make sense? Because I've submitted, I'm committed to those two people. That's really it. So if you're not those two people, I don't let you get in the way of my dreams, my emotions. Like literally, you've got to be like that, man. It sounds a bit cold, sounds a bit like negative, but it's true, man. You have to be willing to like walk alone. I've got everyone's back on this call, man. I do my very best, and I know I'm not perfect. I'm far from it, and I'm gonna keep getting better and better every day. But I know my heart's in the right place, which is why I can be misunderstood. I'm okay with being misunderstood, to be honest. I'm okay with people talking shit about me because I know me, and you should know you as well. So when people say, "Oh, you're out there, you're scamming people, you're doing this and that," you're like, you know in your heart that you're not. You know in your heart that there's genuine people inside this company, that are making some great money and they're helping a lot of people. Oh, right? Um, so you don't have to lower your thing down. Do you know what I mean? Your emotions. All right. Any more questions? Yes, James.
Yes, Jake. Great, cool. Bro, always say a lot about obviously about what to say and what not to say. But is there like any example you can give for everybody on the call where you do what somebody would say and then what you would say? Because what I've noticed always from the power of mentorship and leadership from you and Leo is the wording. So less is more. So some people think they're saying the same thing, but they're actually not, and then they misunderstand it. So, if, like, for out of your own words, could you give like an example where that would
You just what
improve?
it is. You have to understand that words create. So everything that comes out your mouth, you have to ask if this was to like become a reality. If what I'm about to say was to become a reality, would I want that? So people say I am struggling. You have to understand that before you say those words, are you okay with continuing to struggle? If the answer's no, don't say those words. Just reframe it. How you reframe it is say, listen, um, let's say for instance, right now, on a physical level, you're struggling to recruit. Okay. You don't say, hey, listen, I'm struggling to recruit. You say to your mentor, hey, listen, what were a few key things that you did to improve your recruitment? You see that? You don't have to like affirm what you don't want. You just have to go out there and find out how you can gather information to take your life to that next level without coming out and saying, "Listen, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that." It's how would you how would you if your goal was to go from here to silver, and you was in my position, what daily actions would you be taking to get better on a consistent basis? You don't need to address the physical situation. That's because that's completely not going to help the situation. Do you know what I mean? So it's just the way you frame it.
Yeah, man. That's absolutely fire.
You know,
Um,
because we know as well the reason why you're asking the question is because you're ready for that next level. You don't have to address the level you're on though.
big.
You know what I mean? I don't want you to like get all like sit in your. I'm not like, hey man, are you struggling? How bad is it? Tell me how bad it is, man. How many no's you got today? Oh, you must be feeling bad. You're not feeling bad after that. I would feel bad if I was you. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine mental. Like it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like ridiculous. I'm not. No, I'm not, man. I said to someone yesterday. He said, "Man, I'm messing up so much." His name's actually it's Tom. I see Tom on the line. Tom was like, "I'm messing up, man. And I said, "You bro, you know what I love about you though, mate? At least you're taking action. Most people don't take action, so at least you're taking action, bro. I'd rather you take wrong action than no action. Trust me, because a mentor can't steer a parked car. We can't turn a parked car. We can't help a parked car. Let's get in motion, man. Let's go." And then guess what? Whenever you are feeling the turbulence, whenever you are feeling crazy about your situation, just give your mentor a call. We're here for you. We don't forget, we've gone through it. I've come from nothing, man. I've gone every stage, every struggle that someone can go through in this business. I promise you, I have experienced. I've experienced a family intervention. I've experienced being hated, being blocked. I've experienced people showing up at events ready to fight me. I've experienced, actual fights. I've experienced police getting involved. I've experienced my breakups. I've gone through a breakup when I first got into this business. I've experienced having zero money. I've experienced using the last money in my bank to get to an event. I've experienced borrowing money to pay for a subscription. I've experienced everything you can possibly think of. I've experienced. So also, but you know what that gives me as well? The awareness of who's actually serious and who's not. Because even though, Kirky, I went through all of that, I never once made an excuse. That's the one thing I'm so proud of myself. I never once made an excuse.
Right.
Ever. Ever. If my mentor said, if I got my wife on this call right now and I said to my wife, babe, can you, this is not pre-planned, can you tell everyone on the line right now, what's, what's my number one skill? She'll say, your ability to do exactly what your mentor says at the drop of a hat. I could be going this way, and as soon as my mentor mentions that's the wrong way, I do this, I instantly, there's no emotion. Boom. I don't care who it pisses off. I don't care who I lose. I don't care. I don't care because you know what? The right people, they know your heart. They're going to be with you anyway.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
100%.
Like my
Grateful
wife,
for.
I'm like, babe, listen, I know we got plans tonight. I have to cancel them. I need to be here. Like, Jin recently came and spent a week with me, right? My wife had plans, babes. Unfortunately, we have to cancel those plans. We have to pay whatever we need to do. I need to be with Jin for this entire week. You're going to see me in the morning and probably in the morning because when I get back, you're going to be in bed anyway. And I'm literally out the house from like 9:30 till like 11:30 that entire week. Didn't even see anyone.
Mhm.
But it's like, congratulations on director. Yeah, for sure. But it took work. Jin's got selfies. I need to actually get that selfie off him actually. We're up late, just like eating like shit food, just like making it happen. All right, but yeah. Guys, listen, man, have an amazing week, have an amazing Sunday. Get your tickets
Yeah.
for November 1. God bless. I'll see you all in the field. Speak soon. Bye bye.
Okay.